Come paint this moody, whimsical fall door hanger with me.
Hey everyone, it's Susie Lee with Bellalinaboutique. And I'm wearing my new shirt that I made last week? I made this little cute little t-shirt that I got from Walmart. This is one I didn't show you. That we're going to be using today. With this little guy right here, our little gnome. I went to Hobby Lobby the other day and they had 40% off their fall stuff. But this is a big old pumpkin door hanger. We're going to do a door hanger, and I'm going to marry this little guy here to the side of this, just like that, with some B7000. We're going to just, like, he's got a pumpkin. He's going to be on a pumpkin, and we're going to use this little one, this little sunflower on his hat today. And this big one here, it says a time to gather, and it's got the cutest little squirrel. So yeah, we're gonna do that. So let's get to getting. I think I'll start with the pumpkin, the bottom. We'll start from the bottom, move our way on up. I'm gonna take some, this is shale green, and it's a this is a chalk paint, terracotta folk art. It's by Folk Art, and I love this color. It's really a cool color. And I like to mix my oranges and all that stuff. I got some really cool black flash, but it looks, I got this at Walmart the other day. It looks like antique bronze. Can you see that? It looks like antique bronze to me. Anyway, I got that. I got some gold. I got some new colors. And I've got this pretty terracotta clay pot. And I'm going to mix these two from pumpkin. I do have some flowers. You know those foam flowers from Hobby Lobby that sometimes I get and I want to make them smaller, and I'll tear off the petals. Well, I keep all the petals, and so I put some together today. Yeah, these were avocado stained, and so I put a trio of them together because I kind of think I might want to put some flowers at the base of this somewhere. Anyway, shut up, Susie, and start painting. I'm gonna mix it and play with this. Start with a little bit of green. I'm gonna dab it in some water, and so because this is really dry, I'm gonna add some orange to this, and you're just gonna see me do a little green, a little bit of orange.
Now, I know this looks a little strange, but trust the process. You need to blend a lot, and here I'm adding just a little bit of water in with the paint. It helps it to move it about just a little bit. But I do have a product I'd like to keep in my arsenal, and that is floating medium. Watch how easy this is.
Shoot, I'm gonna use some floating medium. If you haven't got any floating medium in your arsenal, you need to, because this stuff, because like what I just did was poured out a ton of it. I didn't mean to, but maybe I need it. Because this is really super duper. Oh, see how that's flowing now? See how that's going? It was just not moving. It was driving me crazy. It wouldn't move. Oh yeah, look at how that goes on. Look at that, so much better. So much better. Yeah, a little dab of orange, a little dab of green. And yeah, because this is really thirsty, this wood. Put it in some floating medium, and that gets it moving. Just like that, and blends it nicely.
And I think the key to laying in the background on this pumpkin is the blending technique. You'll see when it's finished that it just has all the colors together and nicely muted. We're just laying a backdrop. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, I like the way this is looking. Can y'all see the streaks of green? And that's how a pumpkin is. When you go to the store, look at the big bins of pumpkins that they put out in the fall. They're not the same color. They're not all one color. You got to mix them up. Now that we got that done, I'm just going to dry it up a little bit.
And don't you just love how the floating medium made this look so much more moody, like a moody fall day?
All right, so I'm going to paint this little dude up. He's going to be awfully cute. Seashell pink, it's called. I'm going to try to still use my plate here because I don't need a lot. Just enough to mix the two here a little bit and give him a little blush in on his nose, and grab up a little bit of that floating medium. That's what we're going to do. Make it kind of pink.
I love to mix colors to get the ones that I'm looking for. Mixing this blush pink together with just a little bit of tan made it exactly the skin tone that I was looking for. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of my Adirondack white and give him a little bit of highlight on that nose. Now let's move on to the fur of the hat. Gonna mix just a little bit of that blush in with the white and go in around the lines of the fur on the hat. And this is a laser cut piece, so there's little lines, just like a coloring page that shows you exactly where to paint. And I'm going in with a little stencil brush here, dabbing in a brighter white to give it that sheepskin look.
I'm gonna crack open this this shiny, shimmery paint that I got from Walmart the other day. I thought, oh, this will be really cute to use in my fall crafting, and it is. I'm so glad I got it. I'm gonna just go around the edge here very carefully. This is how I color too.
So going around the edge very carefully with a fine line brush all the way across the top of the hat, getting all the detail work in first. Once the detail work's done, I grab a little wider brush and we can get it done lickety-split. Love this color.
Isn't he cute? Look at his little shiny hat. He's all ready for the holidays.
Next, I move on down to his beard. Using a very fine-tipped, rounded brush, I am doing his beard in the Adirondack white. And this is the kind of thing you just want to take your time and try to stay in the lines and make it look professional. The bottom of the beard has some jagged edges, so they're kind of zigzaggy. So I just take my time going in there with my little fine brush.
Ta-da! Cute. All right.
Next, I'm going to bring back the orange and the green that I did for the base of the pumpkin because he's holding a little pumpkin, and I'm going to kind of give it that same vibe. We're going to do a little blending technique, making sure that we utilize the floating medium. And there's 4 little sections of this pumpkin. So I try to stay off of the lines where the ribs are in the pumpkin with my paint so that it stands out each section a little bit. And of course I'm doing the blending technique, and so they're different colors each section. Just shaded slightly different. And I absolutely love how darling he's turning out. How cute is he going to be against that big pumpkin? Here I'm giving the stem a little muted colors of green. And he's got 2 adorable little mittens that he's holding the pumpkin with. And I paint those in the Deco Art copper metallic color, so it stands out against the orange of the pumpkin. Now I'm giving his jacket the same coat of paint that I did the hat. And right at the base of the jacket is a little pant line, and that's going to be brown. It really looks like just a little trim. And I decided to make his little boots black. I'm using coal black and fusion mineral paint.
He's adorable. So adorable. I like the little shimmering metallic. I mean, that's pretty. on his hat and his little gloves. All right. Now, this little sunflower, we're going to just kind of, what way will it look best?
We're going to work on the sunflower on his hat, and we're going to bring in some Podge yellow, and we're going to do the center in just plain white. But we're going to take that same stencil brush. We're going to tape it off a little bit so it doesn't move. We're going to take the same stencil brush and we're going to add a little bit of that Podge yellow, and then we're going to go back in over it with the orange that we use for the pumpkin. It's kind of a muted burnt orange, and it gives more dimension to the sunflower. And then we do the leaves in the green, the shale green. Look how cute that looks.
Let's connect them. Let's connect the two. All right. How cute are you? Here's a button.
Now I'm going to marry the two pieces together eventually, but first we've got to place the stencil exactly where we want it on the pumpkin so that all of it shows as much as we can get of it. I'm using burnt sienna brown to go in and dab with the stencil brush around the squirrel. And what this does is it just gives it dimension because some of the orange colors pop through and it looks like fur. Once we get Mr. Squirrel looking all nice and fluffy for the winter, we're going to go in with the burnt sienna brown in a solid color, and we're going to make it much more solid down at the base, at the stump of the tree where the little squirrel's sitting. And I'm making it pretty solid brown on the bottom, so there's contrast between the squirrel and the stump of the tree. Next, I focus on some of the detail work, some of the leaves that are falling around the squirrel, and I'm going to use some oranges and some of the metallics as well, the copper and the other metallic color that we used on the gnome hat, and just mixing it up a little bit. Here I'm showing it to you with the stencil on it still. However, we needed to finish the lettering at the top. So I'm doing this in a beautiful aqua color. I chose that because I thought it would really pop against the orange, and I was right.
That is pretty.
I just love it when a plan comes together.
Cute, cute.
Time to marry these two pieces together. I'm going to flip it over, and with a pencil I'm going to draw a line so that I know exactly where to put the glue. I'm using Titebond Quick and Thick, and I'm going to use that in conjunction with a little bit of hot glue here and there so that it'll give it a temporary hold while the Titebond gives it a permanent hold.
Okay. Oh my goodness, guys. Look at how sweet that is. Isn't he cute? Seriously? I love him. Look at all that shimmer and cuteness. All right. Well, I have this ribbon. I'm going to make a bow. I'm probably not going to do it on this live because it's already been long enough. You've seen bows made. You've seen the bow dabra. How many times have you seen the bow dabra? Probably 1,000 times, whatever. But I'm going to make this little bow to go at the top of his hat right here somewhere, I think. Yeah, I think that would be cute. So I'm going to try to do that. What I learned at Christmas time. Okay, so once, twice around the finger. Okay, then once, twice around the thumb and finger. Okay, and then when you're coming around the finger, you push the tail through. And see this little spot right here? You bring your tail up, grab it, and push it through that little loop and center it in the middle and give it a yank like that. And then you have a cute little coquet bow with loops like this. And I love this crinkly ribbon. I bought the ribbon plain and I crinkled it myself. All you do is you hit it with some water and then crinkle it up, and it looks so cute. You gotta let those little tails be short. Short tail. Okay. put that, I'm gonna put it at the end, but that covers up the wording, so I'm just gonna put it up a little bit higher, that's all. Yeah, just like that. This needs just ever so slightly shorter. Covering up my letter A. Can't have that. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm gonna do a pretty fall bow up here to go with the whole ensemble.
Now, before I forget, I can't forget about the little trio of avocado stained foam flowers. I'm going to put little roses at the bottom, squishing them together right under that stump. How cute is that going to be? I get those in the his and her section at Hobby Lobby. And just because I can, I've got some totally dazzled, beautiful, blinged out leaves. So I pick out a few and I'm just going to place them here and there, and I'm going to adhere them with a little bit of Type Bond Quick and Thick. And it takes hold pretty fast.
I can't turn it upward to show you, but I think it turned out super cute. I'm super happy about it. I think he's adorable. I think he's absolutely adorable. I hope you like him as much as I do. I love you all so very much. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye, guys.